Hello and welcome to my YouTube video. My name's Jacey Cashman, I'm the Warrior of Light, and this is part 2 of a book review of the Chimp Paradox, Mind Management by Dr. Steve Peters. This is part 2, the introduction, which is part 1, introduces myself and the book and go into a few more details obviously about that, so I won't go into it now because that's on part 1 for you to have a look at. Let's actually get started into the turning the pages. There is no script to this. I'm not actually sure how long this is going to take, so I obviously have the book here in front of me. I've got my matcha green tea to keep me going, and I know I have read the book, in case you've not watched the introduction. I have read the book, and I've got a whole host of post-its in the book. Whenever I read a book, I always have a highlighter or post-its with me, so I can always refer back to them. And this one in particular has got a whole host of post-its. So I thought, for my own personal development time and to share with the world out there through this awesome opportunity of media that we have, I would. So I've actually got my moleskin personal diary here, and I've actually flipped it over to the back, so I'm going to work backwards through it and put some notes down, as I know there's different exercises the book suggests you to do as we work through it. So let's get started. So here we are. As I said, I've already gone through the synopsis and the contents and everything else, so we're going to be starting at the introduction, which is the journey, choosing the sun. Now, I won't read page for page, and it is a few pages in until we actually get to my first note, and I would have put these like key points or things like this. So what I'm doing is I'm sharing my own personal experiences, and what this book has been absolutely awesome. It's taken me a time to read through it, again listen to the introduction for different reasons, but when I finished it most recently, it has had a massive impact on both personal, business and relationships and everything else. So yeah, if you've not read it, this is an opportunity for you to get like a quick brush through it. So reading this book will take you on a journey of self-discovery and development. By understanding and applying the concepts within it, you will not only improve the quality of your life, but also significantly increase your chance of being happy and successful in whatever you do. The book is written around a model that I have developed, so I'm talking here in Dr. Steve Peters' position. A model that I've developed called Chimp Management, which has helped many people understand themselves and learn how to work with their emotions. Some parts of the book will resonate with you more strongly than others. Select those parts that are relevant to you and work with them. So that's what we're doing from my perspective with all of these post-its. I'm picking out things that are most relevant. I found reading books like self-help books like this, or even just watching a film on the telly, when you go back over it, you pick up things that you missed possibly the first time. So once I've actually gone through this, I'll probably read through the book at some point, at some stage as well. There's a little bit of a time lapse between the last part 1 and part 2, what with family, young family, business and everything else. But I'm planning to get these videos, if you're not already, at a point where all of them are uploaded at a more regular interval. So talks about himself a little bit here in the book, Dr. Steve Peters, and there's some bullet points here. How do I become the person that I would like to be? I want to be confident in myself. How do I become more organised and successful in what I do? This is a particular one for myself. Why do I worry so much? How do I become a more effective leader? Again, more specific to myself, that one. I want to be happy, don't we all? How do I stop worrying about what others think? Why can't I make decisions? How do I motivate myself? Why do I have such a low opinion of myself? How do I stop emotions that prevent me from reaching my professional potential? I drink too much. Why do I often act against common sense? My moods just go up and down. How do I stop overeating? Why do I sometimes become so irrational in my thinking? I can't control my anger. Why can't I remain faithful? I can't get on with my boss. Why do I feel judged all the time? How do I make relationship work? And the list goes on. So, in his work as a psychiatrist and lecturer, people typically present him with comments and questions, and they are usually centered around problems that they don't understand or can't solve. So those were some examples I gave there. It then says how we will go through the journey. Chimp management is based on scientific facts and principles which have been simplified into a workable model for easy use. And this, I can say, you haven't read through the book, is what is so brilliant about it, is that model, that concept, the drawings he gives, and just the imagery, the way you can make your emotions into something. So it will help you to answer the above questions, develop yourself, and give you skills, for example, to remove anxiety, have confidence, and choose your emotions. The book does this by giving you kind of quick reading here, skimming through, an understanding of the way the mind works. So this is obviously based on facts and how you can manage it. It will identify what's holding you back or preventing you from being happier or successful. And each chapter explains different aspects of how you function and highlights key factors for you to understand. There are exercises for you to work through, so that's why I got my diary this time. By undertaking these exercises, you will see immediate improvements in your daily living, and over time you develop emotional skills and practical habits that will help you become the person that you want to be and live the life that you want to live. We will consider 7 different areas to work on, and the book is broken down into the chapters of this. Your inner mind, understanding relating to others, communication, the world in which you live, your health, your success, your happiness. I'm really looking forward to going back over these because I didn't really make notes. As I said, I put a load of post-its in, but I have already implemented some of the exercises and really seen big differences, and I want to go back over to them to just reinforce and make sure I've fully understand what I can get out of this. So this is describing how he uses the model for easy use. So to help you understand and visualize these areas that I just went through better, he represents them with, or in this book it's represented with planets, some of which have their own moons to stabilize them. The 7 planets and the 7 moons come together to form the psychological universe within your head. As I said, it wouldn't be good if I was reading this whole thing to you. The book introduces each planet as we work our journey across the universe, and strictly speaking is a solar system. And you can pop to page 339, so as it's relevant I will. I should have just gone to the back of the book. And the page here shows the planets and moons. I don't know if you've got that in focus there. Planets and moons. So, just as the sun is the centre of the physical solar system, your sun is the centre of your psychological universe and represents self-fulfillment and what you believe to be the meaning and purpose of your life. The sun has the best chance of shining when all of the 7 planets in your universe are spinning correctly and in harmony. Therefore, in order to make your sun shine, you have to work on each area in your life and get it into a good place. So let's choose the sun and begin our journey of self-discovery and life-changing attitudes. Whoa, I'm properly excited to be going back over this. Cheers. As I say, I didn't know how long this video is going to be, so let's just work through it. I'm not going to read word for word now. I'm going to literally jump to my markers that I've put. So, part 1 here, your inner mind explored. So, as it said, the book's going to be broken down into chapters based on this psychological universe, which is then put together into the framework of these planets. And it starts, as I've been through it, I know where we're going with this journey, it starts very much looking at yourself, the man in the mirror. We've got to make change in ourselves in order to have change with relationships with others and being successful and everything else. So, well, it's a couple of pages until I get my first post-it, so it's probably worth mentioning a few things. He talks about the human brain and how that is simplified into different parts. Within the Chimp management model, 3 of these brains combine to form the psychological mind, and we'll only look at these. Remember that scientifically this is far from accurate, but it will give us a working model. Strictly speaking, the other brains significantly contribute to emotions, thinking and memory, but for our purposes we will dramatically simplify things. So basically he doesn't go in the book lots of jargon about how the brain works, just simplifies it to this model. So he basically talks in the book about how our mind in this simplified model and how it's going to make it really effective for making change in yourself or becoming more successful, confident, and all of those things that we mentioned just now. Is there's a part that he refers to as the human, there's a part he refers to as the chimp, and there's a part he refers to as the computer. I'm going to break this down without trying to say too much each time, because otherwise we're going to end up getting ahead and I'm going to lose the flow of the book. So, for convenience, well, we're here. So, this is a psychological mind, and there's a little diagram here showing the 3 brains trying to work together. They very frequently get into conflict and struggle against each other to gain control, with the chimp limbic brain often winning. I won't use any of these words. I don't even really know how to say them, but here. So that's a little picture of the brain, and in the brain it's saying there's a computer part, there's a chimp part. Again, I'll try to refrain from saying too much till we get to it, and then there's the human part. So to get the real gist of this start in introduction is to understand that we're going to be constantly in the book referring to the 3 parts of the brain. So introducing the chimp. When we're in the womb, so before we're actually born, there are 2 different brains, the human and the chimp. The chimp being the emotional machine. Both are developed independently and then introduce themselves to each other by forming connections, brain connections. The problem is that they found they were not in agreement about most things. Either of these 2 brains or beings could run your life for you, but they tried to work together, and therein is the problem. The human and chimp have independent personalities with different agendas. Here, I'll try to skim through a little bit in different ways of thinking, of operating. So, effectively, what he's saying, introducing the chimp here, is we have 2 beings in our head. One being is you, which is the human, your own personality, and then the chimp, which is the emotional machine that we possess. We are both born with these 2 parts of the brain. They are developed in the womb, in our mummy's tummy. The chimp offers emotional thoughts and feelings that can be very constructive or very destructive. What is important to understand is this is not a good or bad thing. It is the chimp. So the chimp is going to be very constructive for you or very destructive for you. The chimp paradox is that it can be your best friend and your worst enemy, even at the same time. The main purpose of the book is to help you manage your chimp and harness its strength and power when it is working for you, and neutralise it when it is not. Hence chimp paradox, hence the mind management. Okay, so the key point here, still haven't got my first post-it yet. The key point here is the chimp is an emotional machine. that thinks independently from us. It is not good or bad, it is just a chimp. Then goes on to say here, when people have accidents and hurt their frontal lobe, the chimp, they have a disorder illness, their personality alters. Oh no, that's the human rather. Effectively, the human part of the brain stops working, and a new personality that presents it is the chimp. Very often, okay, right. This is where a case of the guinea pigs. You're going to have to read this book yourself to get some of these things, otherwise we are going to be here all day. I want to like run through this so that you get an idea of how I'm looking at it. So like we're on page 11 and there's, what we got here? We've got 300 to get through, so we're not going to do it all today, don't worry. So, a key point, so post-it number 1 coming out. You are not responsible for the nature of your chimp, but you are responsible for managing it. Okay, just on the other page, like battles within your own head. How can you be two different people at different times? So, this chimp is your emotion. So, to reiterate, I'm reading from the book now. The chimp within your head is a separate entity to you. It was born when you were born, but actually has nothing to do with you as a human, as your personality. It's simply part of your machinery. For example, when you were born, you were given a certain eye colour. You didn't have a choice in this, it was given to you through our genes. There isn't anything you can do about it. You accept your eye colour and get on with life. Similarly, my words are not so great at times, so bear with us. You didn't choose your chimp, okay? It was given to you and you need to accept it. And it has a mind of its own and thinks with original thoughts that are not yours. It is a living machine that is built to serve a purpose, which is to ensure the next generation. It has a personality of its own. It can run your life for you, usually not very well, but it can do it. It is an extremely powerful emotional machine. You might wish to give your chimp a name and you introduce yourself because it plays one of the biggest parts in your life. Throughout your life, you the human and your chimp and your emotional thinking machine will often do battle. So I've got a little picture there that says, what is my name? So I'm going to call my chimp originally Chimp. So I'm going to start here where I'm making notes. If you can't see what I'm doing, I've got my pen and my book out here. So we're at the Chimp Paradox, the psychological mind. So we're at chapter 1. So I'm going to make a note here. So look, I've actually written July 17. We're in August 17 now. So the Chimp Paradox review, the mind management. So my first key point is in the psychological. I should make sure my pen works. Psychological mind. I did really. I was just throwing that one in there. Psychological mind. Chapter. And then I'm going to call them KPs. So, key point here. You are not responsible. For your chimp, but you can manage it. Power of pen. Okay, so he is, for me, I'm going to call him a he because I am a he. He is named Chimp. So whenever I refer to chimp, I'm referring to the chimp as in my personal emotion in this. We have 3 parts of the brain, and another key point here. Okay, it's a summary of points. I remember this now. So a summary of the key points. That's probably a good place to get to. Okay. We introduced the chimp. Let's make sure I've not missed anything here. Okay, So, one of the secrets of success and happiness is to learn to live with your chimp and not get bitten. Okay, I have no idea why that stopped, but I've hopefully merged these two videos together. So, where was I? Lost train of thought there. Okay. Yeah. Strange. Okay, right, so I'm summarising the key points here. No, I did that. Suggested exercise. So, the exercise is development time. What is development time and why have it? This here, right now, this video is my own personal development time, which, development time. Okay, so I'm going to put this as an exercise. I'm writing all this down, I like to refer to it and be able to share it again with others. So, what is the development time and why do we have it? So, drink green tea. Maybe you need something a bit stronger. Simply put, development time is time specifically set aside that is dedicated to reflecting on how you are managing yourself. You will benefit most from the model of the chimp, the human and the computer if you spend time thinking through the concepts involved and then implementing them. This is what I did when I was reading this book and what I have done and I've found to be so successful. What I'm doing now is going back over it to reconnect with it and make sure I didn't miss anything and share with everyone else, make a load of notes of it. Okay, right, so make sure, okay, the best way to make sure that you establish development time is to make it into a habit. Habits are formed when they are easy to do. So this is something I do at the end of each day, hence the green tea. I always sit down at the end of each day. This came about after reading this book. The green tea was there already, but to think about the day. So therefore, setting aside a specific time in the day that is say that word, for developing thinking will increase your chances of it. So I'm going to have to do a bit of personal development time on saying words. Happening regularly. The session must be easy to do, otherwise your chimp won't agree and you won't do it. So making the session just 10 minutes long is more likely to establish the habit than making the session an hour long. Try to establish 10 minutes a day. By reflecting during development time, the human is reviewing what is in the computer and modifying it. As we will see in further chapters, this is critical to managing your chimp. So, the development time is for you to review what thoughts, what processes are stored in the computer. To you to look at your day, to look at your week, look at what's coming up, what's happened, and to allow you to possibly change the way that you've been behaving for the better. So what to do? So during this time, you need to look back over the last 24 hours. So this video is going to finish with you going away and doing this exercise. So look back over the last 24 hours and reflect on how you managed it. Keep a logbook and write only 1 or 2 lines for each day, which will help focus your mind on how you can improve the way that you do things or how you are thinking. It will also help you to work through the points raised in the book. An example. So here's a suggestion for the first few sessions. Try to improve your ability to recognise your chimp is hijacking you with thoughts, feelings and behaviours that you don't want to have. By doing this, you are learning to recognise the difference between yourself and your chimp and who is in control at any point. This will help to make clear that there are 2 brains operating within your head and only one of them is you. Now, I've had a day today I would say is a really good day, and I myself has been in control of it the whole time, and my chimp has been working with me really well. Okay, I've had a really good sort out down in the garage and had a bit of time with family, and yeah, it's been a really good day and I feel really good about my day as well. Let's go back to Thursday last week, and it's Friday. We went camping Thursday. My middle and eldest daughter, our middle and eldest daughter, they get on really well, but really get on well at winding each other up. And I didn't sleep too well during the night camping, and not that I don't normally, it just didn't on this occasion. So I was a bit tired in the morning, and when I look back at that, my Chimp hijacked me, and I lost it a little bit with them, trying to get through to them and everything else. So for me, a big part of this is being able to become a good leader, good role model for my children, and for the martial arts world and everything that we do. So the development time, I'll look back and I will write notes. For instance, today was a good day, I was in control of it. Back to Friday, Chimp hijacked me, and I look back at it, and I was applying some of the exercises we've learnt in this book, but I was slightly out of control at times with the chimp. And I don't necessarily regret anything because I didn't do anything bad. It's just I could have possibly handled a couple of things a little bit differently. And so that's been the last couple of days. Yesterday again, it was actually our wedding anniversary, and I was in very much control of myself. Though I did get a little bit tired at one point, and I'll maybe let the chimp take over a little bit then. You might be able to relate to. I don't have necessarily an issue with what I eat and everything, but for instance, if you see something, eat it and then feel guilty afterward, that's your chimp taking over. So let's take this exercise away now. I'm blabbering on. I'm going to finish my green tea. Before we come back to what will be the next chapter, chapter 2, it's looking like we'll be able to do a chapter at a time. Your exercises, go away and do 10 minutes of a development time each night, each morning, whenever it's going to work for your lunch break, and write down your experiences of the day and how you felt about it, you as a person, where you can look at your emotions taking over. So that's chapter part 2 done. I think we're going to have quite a few parts to this series, so I look forward to sharing this time with you. And make sure you subscribe, share and like and comment. If you have a lot of experience with this book and the exercises we're doing, please share it. Peace out. Boom.